I saw a man playing a piano on a street in Paris years ago, about 10 years ago, and I was really inspired by that. I started busking in Grafton Street just a couple of years ago. I got the idea to bring my piano to Grafton Street. Um, yeah, it just as an experiment. The idea just came to me, and I thought, I suppose it's not impossible. I called the guards to ask them if I could bring a piano to Grafton Street, and they were kind of shocked at the request. But they said, yeah, but they said, well, if you can manage to bring a piano to Grafton Street, fair play to you. Go ahead. So that's been no problem. Yeah, usually it's surprise and curiosity, and what I do is I take the panel, the wooden panel, off the front of the piano so that people can see the inside, can see the entire mechanism of the piano working. Everyone can see the machinery, so as I'm playing, people can see the hammers and the strings moving and the whole mechanism working like a machine. And people like that. People are curious, especially kids. They like to come up and see how the piano works. Sometimes people throw money into my hat and say, that's just for bringing the piano into Grafton Street. I've been involved in music in one way or another for about the last 15 years. I started playing music when I was about 12 years old. The trumpet was my first instrument. My father was a jazz trumpet player. And then I gradually moved on to piano and guitar in my teens. I focused mostly on composing at the piano. So most recently I've been focusing on developing the area of composition as a pianist. There's a variety of things that inspire me to write music, to compose. Often it's just, looking at the world around me and trying to maybe capture something. Or sometimes I'll just hear other music that really inspires me. Obviously people busk all over the world, but I think busking does have a particular significance in Irish tradition. It's very much a Dublin tradition. I know it goes on, in plenty of other places, but I think Grafton Street is world famous. I think it's often the case that many great musicians of Ireland have kind of cut their teeth playing on Grafton Street. Busking on Grafton Street has definitely helped me to grow both as a performer, as a composer, and also just as a person. I think it's because I've met so many people through busking on Grafton Street. I mean, you're out there for hours playing, and you get to know people. You get to know familiar faces passing by. I think that busking has made me want to compose more, but going out there playing original music was a little bit of a risk. But people have seemed to respond to it very well. I try to play with no expectations when I'm busking on Grafton Street. In a sense, it's almost like practice. It's kind of like performance practice. And when you do make that connection with some unsuspecting passerby who decides to stop and listen, that's actually very rewarding. I hope to just continue developing as a composer, to keep writing, to keep composing, to keep playing. There's an endless list of people in the history of music who I admire and love from all different eras. To be honest, I don't know how long I'll continue busking on Grafton Street, simply because bringing the piano onto the street is very difficult and requires a lot of help. It requires a lot of elbow grease. So it's something that I'll continue for a little while, but I think busking on Grafton Street is something that I probably won't do long term. So I'm just going to try and enjoy it while I'm doing it.